All right. Welcome, welcome. Here we are again, noonday, beautiful weather in Houston. I don't know where you guys are, but it is like 70 degrees. I love it. And today I have a very, 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 very special guest with me on here. And the reason why I say that is because many years ago, and you see it on the description, I started this business called Amazon. And I went to my very first Amazon conference in Austin, Texas. And I was sitting on the very back row next to this lady. And, we were both kind of quiet and we didn't know each other. And I started talking to her. And she was actually moving to Austin at the time, or in the process of thinking about it. I don't know if you remember that. And we became good friends. And here we are 4 or 5, who knows how many years later. We've been to China together. We've been to many conferences together. We've stayed in touch. And I consider her an amazing dear friend. And I am so, so honored to bring her onto our speaker panel for the SimplezonSeller conference. She is one of those ladies who is just like one of my other best friends, who's quiet in the scenes and stuff, but she has a plethora of knowledge and many different things. And this is the kind of stuff that I love whenever at my conference, is to bring people, not just people who you guys know, but bring people who know a lot of stuff, but they just have this hidden talent until someone like me just says, come on stage, and, it won't happen. So I wanted to introduce you guys to my dear friend. Her name is Linda Joseph. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself and her journey of how she got started in this amazing business.
Well, thank you, Joy. You're very kind. This is all because of my kids. I got into being an entrepreneur because of my daughter. She taught herself HTML. This is back in 2005. Before WordPress, before these other easy ways to make websites. And she couldn't do algebra. So I thought, I've got to figure out, I homeschooled. So I had to figure out how to kind of encourage her in this. And so she started designing websites. She taught herself Photoshop. And so I was kind of her business manager and started looking for businesses that needed websites, which at the time, there weren't a lot of people designing websites. So she did all the work on the back end, and then I was kind of the front end for her, because I didn't want them to know that it was a 14-year-old girl that was doing their web design for them.
Right.
So that's how I got started, just being into an entrepreneur. And then I got into this business for my son. I had no reason to get into an Amazon business. I thought, it's okay. But my son hurt his knee, and I wanted him to do something. And so we went to Ryan Rager's event in Dallas. And after 2 weeks, he said, I don't want to do this, Mom. And I said, okay, I love it. I think I'm going to stick with this. So that's how I got into Amazon.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love hearing stories of how people get started, because some are just completely unrelated to the Amazon business, and there's a reason why they may do, whatever it is that they're doing. And so it's really, really cool to hear the background story. Like, I got started in Amazon because I was doing online marketing, and I was on lists, and I was trying to find the perfect business for me to be able to stay home with my kids. And, I started doing this e-com thing about, like I say, like when I met you about 5 years ago, and it's just changed my life. And I think that's part of why SimplezonSeller came about, is because I love to share to help other people. And you are so much like that too, Linda. I mean, I know that you do many things, and I know that, I can't remember which conference it was. Maybe it was the Dallas one that you were just talking about, where we went to some kind of factory outlet. Was it in Dallas that we went to that Foot Locker or Nike store or whatever?
Nike. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember going there with you, and so fun finding, digging for profits basically. And so I know you do a lot of things. So if you had to pick one particular area of interest that, in your e-commerce world, what would be your favorite that you do more of?
Well, right now, my favorite is doing RA with my husband. And that gets our weekend getaways, marriage maintenance. Even though we've been married 34 years, we like to get away and have some time together. So that I'm enjoying that now. But we won't be able to do that in 3 years when hopefully he can leave the corporate world and the kids are out of college and we'll be in Honduras. So I have to do most of my work online.
Right. I saw the pictures of you in Honduras. Linda and I also have that in common, in the fact that we love going to the beach, and I'm going to have to visit her in Honduras because I've kind of seen parts of those sister countries around. And whenever you get settled over there, we'll need to plan a trip or whatever. But how do you feel like, I mean, you know, one thing I also love about you, Linda, is like, I know that there are people out there that do this and, you know, they're like going strong and they're like busting their heads and not sleeping and, you know, staying out to 3 a.m, which, you know, that's okay if that's how you want to do that. But one thing I love that you do is how you put your husband, like, if you guys ever see Linda with her husband, they're like the ultimate couple, like everybody's dream to be like, because they place each other and so much, I guess, you know, that's what their why is and why they do what they do. And I so admire it. She has no idea that we all just sit here and talk about her and her awesome husband and how in love they are. But she does, you know, what is a typical day for you, I guess? And I'll let you share that with, you know, so that people can see, like, what do you do?
Typical day? Like what I do in the morning and
like in your e-com world, like what would you be doing as far as like listing, finding items, or if you do some online stuff?
I did some ordering this morning, looked at the wholesale accounts and saw what needed to be reordered. We're working on process right now after my time with Perry and Kim and them telling me I was not very efficient. And I said, I know, but I'm okay with that. I mean, just my business has to revolve around my priorities. And I think that's one of the things that I love about this business is I can have my priorities. I mean, a husband is way up there, then the kids, and then there's other people that I'm working with. And I can stop whatever I'm doing and go take care of priorities and then come back to this. So last night, my husband is in Baltimore for a few days. So I was just prepping, and I don't usually do much prepping in these days, but I was just having fun folding clothes. And so I enjoy a lot of different things. Yeah.
And so for those who are kind of newbies on here, and so what I love about the e-com world is basically, if you can imagine a diagram and finding a product, prepping it, and shipping it into Amazon. That's kind of the simple 3-step process. That's, of course, each step is more in depth, but that's kind of like, it's amazing. I want you guys to think about for a moment, like walking into Walmart maybe and seeing an item that may be $3 and then being able to ship that item into Amazon for them to hold in their warehouse. And then if somebody like you or I go on Amazon.com and say, I need some, I don't know, a toothpaste. And I go on there and Linda happens to be one of those sellers and she bought the toothpaste for say $3 and it's selling on Amazon for say $12 and she profits say, I don't know, $3 or whatever after all fees. Yeah. And what's really cool is there is a way to see and to show what kind of profit. And, you know, and there's different ways to make money on Amazon, but one of the amazing ways is, you know, all the different ways that she does. And like I say, you can tailor this business into any way that you want. Right. You can basically say, I want to work this many hours or work around like she's working around when her husband's in. And like, if my kids are here, you know, that's why I love it so much because it's not where you have to be at a job 9 to 5 and say, okay, I got to show up at work and I have to be at work from 9 to 5, right? And it kind of ties you down. But as you can see, like with Linda, what she was talking about, it's really awesome because it's like, well, my husband's out of town and I have some time, so I'm going to start prepping and finding products, you know, and it can really be automated. And she actually said she was at Perry and Kim's workshop. We are so blessed that they are actually speakers as well to be at our conference. And so I think your topic was the five steps to building a business. I can't remember what exactly it was. Is that the topic that you're going to speaking about? It's just 5 simple steps for increasing sales. Awesome. Simple things. 10 minutes is all you need. Yeah. We're not going to let you share all of them, but share with us one of the 5 or one of the 10, however many steps there are going to be. One of them is using coupons. Okay. Yeah. It's very simple to set up and adds sales every day to
to our profits.
Or profits. Yeah. Because if you think about it, every time you use a coupon or a promo code, that's just money that you get to keep in your pocket. It's almost like add that to your profit. I teach my kids that a lot too. Like if they're buying, like when they go, like say that they're in Foot Locker in the mall and there's like some shoes that they want. I'm like, okay, I bet you can look online and, punch in Foot Locker store coupon and stuff. And it happens they're amazed. They're like, Mom. And if you order online, a lot of times there's a box that says promo code. In fact, if you go to a site, and I'm going to put it on here now, to the site, you will see when you go to buy tickets, there's a box that says promo code, which if you are watching this, you can actually, the link right underneath me and Linda right now is the link to our SimplezonSeller conference coming up in April in a few weeks. And there is actually promo codes that can be available if you buy through this link, and you can either reach out to Linda or myself. And you can, because you were on here, you can actually type replay or let us know that you heard that there's a promo code and you're interested, or reach out to Linda or myself, and we will get you one so that you can join the conference here in Houston. And so one of the awesome things before we let you guys go here is every time I bring on one of these amazing speakers, they have something that, all of them have so much to offer. I mean, even just coming to the conference and being able to sit in the room with them and ask them a question is amazing. And you guys all know that I talk about, conferences like crazy, like networking and such. But Linda, maybe is there something like if they buy through this link that you might have like a bonus that you can give them?
Sure. I like to do operating procedures where it's screenshots and step by step. And so with these little steps that we're giving, we will have a couple of SOPs, standing operation procedures, that you will get if you buy through that link.
That's awesome. You guys have no idea how valuable that is, because a lot of times we get into this business and we just hit the ground running, and then, we're not checking our numbers and we're not doing things properly, and we just get excited, which I'm guilty of that, because this business is exciting. It's the type of thing that you can just like get excited about, and you're just going to where you're not stepping back and saying, am I doing all of these things correctly? And, do I have my SOPs in order? And, Linda is a woman of many talents. And so not only will you get promo codes that you can use, like we talked about with, being able to have that, but we also have a bonus that she's going to give you, and the standard operating procedures that she is going to send over to you, if you decide to join us.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I know that you've attended many conferences, and, you attended our conference last year as an attendee.
Yes.
And so could you share with us maybe something, but, and then I'll share something also of what you shared in our conference group, but is there something that you can share with the group that maybe from last year until now that you may have learned and applied and seen your business profit in some way?
Yes, absolutely. You had talked about Legends being a group, and you and Jan both kept talking about that. And I was able to meet Danny Stock at your conference last year and talk to him. And we started using his prep center, and our sales have increased over 50%, 75% since I've been using that.
Wow.
Because I'm so efficient with prepping that I've put everything over there, and we've been able to ship out a lot more stuff. So
that's great.
That's awesome. It's bottom line value.
One thing that we're so proud about too is Amazon Legends, who she mentioned, is actually one of our sponsors again this year. And it's been an incredible group. I've seen many people who came to SimplezonSeller last year join his group, join Danny and Ryan's group, and have learned. I mean, that group is, I'm going to have to ask Danny to get a link as well for everybody. And I'm sure you'll get it if you come to the event as well. You'll get a special deal. But, one of the first things that I outsourced in my business was prepping and shipping, just like what you're talking about. And if you think about it, when we're not prepping and shipping, we're able to do other things, such as find deals, talk to China suppliers if you're doing private label. I teach this this is what I talk about so much. And that is, do only what you can do and outsource the rest.
Everything else, right?
I mean, I have gone so far as to, and I teach this, where I I write out my day and I say, yes, not just for my business, but for my personal life. I mean, I'm like, I don't mow my lawn anymore. I did that all, in my married life, taught my boys how to do that.
Right.
Now that we're moving to a condo, we don't have to mow anyway. But I do a lot of outsourcing so that I can spend time with my family. Right. And so I see that you're starting to outsource using the Amazon Legends group. And one other thing that Linda shared, she shared a PPC 5-minute video in our conference group from last year, talking about nickel ads. And Trevor Morris, who's actually going to be at our conference as well. He was a speaker last year, but coming as an attendee this year, used that little trick. And I think in our group, I mean, I can't remember how much his sales went up, but oh my goodness. And it was a simple thing. And as you can see that, yes, we have amazing speakers, but the attendees that come have things to contribute as well. Like I say, Linda was an attendee last year, and she contributed that 5-minute PPC video to the group. People implemented it, shared their results, and it's incredible. And so, you and I know, Linda, it's easy to get stuck behind the computer and to do things on our own in this business. Right. But one more tip, and then we're going to let everybody go. And that is attending conferences. Yes, we talked about SimplezonSeller, but what would you say is another reason why? I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be watching this and they can learn a lot from the other interviews and things like that. But what is I know there's many, but what is one key thing that you can share that you benefit from by being at an event live in person?
Oh, it's the networking. It's meeting the people face to face, talking to them, getting a feel for what they're really like. I mean, you and I both are attracted to people that have high integrity and trustworthy. And when you talk to somebody, you can really begin to get a feel where they're coming from. And I love that aspect. Like Danny, you guys had talked him up, but meeting him in person made a big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. He is an amazing man, isn't he? He's just so sweet and humble. Very giving. I've just enjoyed watching him grow, but it's true. It's like, and I say this all the time, that, when you are around not just the speakers, but the attendees that are there, you might be walking across the street to lunch, and you can talk to them and ask a simple question. Maybe their expertise, like Linda's, could be couponing and online arbitrage, retail, whatever she does, all these different things. And you might say, hey, Linda, when you do this prepping thing, do you such and such and such and such? And you are right there live in person. Yeah. And one other thing about events too, is I love that we are all together, like-minded people, right? And there's just amazing energy in the room when you are around people who are doing the same things that you're doing. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, Linda, I know, you're behind the scenes kind of lady, and I'm so happy that you have agreed to join this speaker panel at our SimplezonSeller event and coming on here, for a few minutes of your time. Thank you for that. And thank you, viewers, for coming on here, whether live or with the replay. And we know that your time is valuable. We thank you for taking time out of, if you're in Houston, this beautiful weather. Austin, I'm sure, is beautiful too. And all around the world, wherever you are, we just thank you for taking the time to come and listen. And I encourage you to get your tickets, because, we are right around the corner, especially if you're local. It's right around the corner. It will not be a waste of your time at all. Check out the speakers, Linda, and all the others that we have to offer you guys. So, Linda, thanks again for being here. All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.